Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video sharing with you all the things I've learned in my 20s and how I plan to take those things and transition into my 30s. So if you all did not know, my birthday is coming up. Your girl is about to be a whole 30 years old. I cannot even, how am I about to be 30? I cannot even believe this. But yes, my birthday is January 5th, 1991. I thought it would be really insightful to make a video and just give you all some things that I've learned in my 20s and how I plan to implement those things that I've learned and take them into my 30s. So if you're interested in seeing how far your girl has come along, then just keep on watching. So looking back over the last decade of my life, I would say that it was a big learning experience. And I can't sit here today and say that I recognized that my 20s were a big learning experience. But now that I look back, starting at the age of around 25, I'd say, is when I started thinking about the next 5 years of my life and how I did not want to enter my 30s with nothing to show for. And that doesn't necessarily just mean tangible things. I am grateful for the tangible things that I've accomplished, but I'm also talking about a mindset, the way I carry myself, my attitude, the things that people don't necessarily see from the outside looking in. So I just wanted to share in the following categories: 1, managing finances; 2, relationships; 3, professional/career; and 4, personal growth. So if you catch me looking down, I had to make a few notes. That's just how much stuff didn't happen in my 20s, okay? I had to make some notes. So if you catch me looking down, that's what I'm doing. So in the first category, managing finances. Y'all, when I say my finances were a hot mess, and unfortunately, I feel like a lot of us have the same story, which is we were not necessarily taught how to budget, how to manage your money, taught how to properly use credit, and how to just be so confident in yourself that you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I was not taught any of those things, and I was kind of thrusted into adulthood expecting to know these things, and I just didn't. So what did I do? I did what a lot of us do. I took out the maximum amount of loans that they offered. If they told me they were giving me $10,000, but you know, just take out what you need for school. No, give me all of that. I want all of that. Okay? I was spending my refund checks from school like it was money that I didn't have to pay back. I was working a part-time job, a few part-time jobs, and all I was responsible for was to pay my cell phone bill and keep the maintenance up on my car. There was no reason that I should have been as broke as I was, y'all. When I tell you that I would get my paychecks from the jobs that I was working, and I would be so far down in the negative in my bank account that my paycheck would get me right back in the black. So I would be right back at zero or a few dollars and just kind of lived my life in the negative. That cycle was, oh my gosh, even saying it aloud now is just kind of like low-key embarrassing, but it is what it is. I want to be transparent in this video, but yeah, I didn't have knowledge on how to manage my money, but I kept my hair done. I kept my nails done. I had the latest makeup. I had cute clothes, cute shoes, all of that, but I didn't have a dime to my name. I didn't have anything saved up. I didn't have a nest egg, and my credit was horrible. Now, I went into college with a really bad credit score. Unbeknownst to me and to no fault of my own, some things happened with a family member, and my name was actually used and kind of messed me over before I even got a chance to mess my own self up as far as credit is concerned. So I go in, I already have no knowledge about budgeting and saving. I have terrible credit and no fault of my own, and I was trying to portray that I had this sort of lifestyle that I didn't even like. just a mess. So around 25 is when I started to take my finances more seriously. I was tired of robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. I was getting denied. Like when I went to go try to get a new car, I couldn't even do that, y'all. I couldn't get a new car with my own name. It was just bad. So I decided to take the reins over my finances. I sat down, I wrote out everybody that I owed, how much I owed them, and I created a plan and stuck to that plan as to how I was going to pay these people back. It was realistic. I didn't say I'm gonna save $30,000 when I knew I made $10 an hour, okay? So what I did, I decided to use the Dave Ramsey snowball method to kind of tackle my debt. And if you don't know what that is, Google Dave Ramsey. He's just a financial genius. I don't agree with everything he teaches, but for the most part, his strategies for tackling your debt are spot on and they worked for me. So I also put a flag up on my credit so that if anybody was using my social security number for anything, if any new accounts were open, it would flag me before it would actually approve it. I started to live below my means. So at this point, I was, you know, taking hair and makeup more seriously, as in creating a career from it. I was attending cosmetology school and I actually had to pay for that out of pocket. So that's another reason I had to buckle down on my finances. In that time, I was putting away the tips I was getting from school in a ghetto Crown Royal bag, y'all. And I know that's awful, but yes, I had it in a Crown Royal bag. I had all of the tips I was getting from school, and I was using that to create a nest egg, a savings, and then at the same time snowballing and paying my debt off using the snowball method. And so I was doing my own hair. I started doing my own nails. I would treat myself here and there, but I was focused on my goals. And then when I met my husband, he catapulted me even further into the journey of becoming debt-free. So right after we got engaged, we had a very important conversation about money and where we were. And I encourage you, if you're in a serious relationship and you know that it's leading to marriage, or it could potentially lead to marriage, have the hard conversations now and it will save you a world of trouble, okay? So we sat down at a table. We both, you know, laid all of our cards on the table and said, hey, this is who I owe. This is how much I owe them. And here come Mr. Perfect with this great credit score and not owing anybody. And I'm kind of like, my stuff ain't perfect, but I could say that I was already actively working on those things, and I could show him what my plan was and how far I had come. And so that made me feel good. But with him being just great as far as budgeting and saving and just very wise when it comes to finances, he was like, okay, we got this cable that's getting X'd out. Okay, we need to move money over here. We need to start saving for this and start. So he kind of just gave me that extra push that I needed, okay? I was already working on it by myself, but homeboy came in and cleaned up a lot of the stuff, okay? So as far as my financial goals that I have for my 30s, I'm gonna become a millionaire in my 30s. I'm going to be, what's today? December 14th, 2020. Mark my words, you're watching this video. I'm going to become a millionaire in my 30s, okay? That's one of my goals. My husband and I have already started in this last quarter of 2020, started really diving into investing in stocks. And so I plan on heavily investing and just learning more about how that whole process works, and just keeping an open mind to things, because it's scary when you come from a background of, you know, barely making enough, barely getting by. I come from a background of, what's the minimum payment I can make on this, ma'am? We were taught, my siblings and I were taught, how much can we pay just to keep the lights on? Ask them how much you can pay just to keep them on. Don't pay the full thing off. How much can you pay? Just what is the minimum payment? We were really raised like that. It's hard to make a mindset shift when it comes to money when you've always had a bad relationship with money. You've never understood money. You look at money just to spend and to buy things, a consumer mindset. And I no longer have that mindset when it comes to money, but I want to even further my knowledge of money. I want to expand on that even more, and I want to teach my children better. They already have a savings. My kids probably got more money than half of the Americans, okay? That's just how serious I am about my financial journey. So yeah, those are my financial goals and how far I've come in the realm of finances in my 20s. So category number 2, relationships. My 20s had its fair share of craziness as it relates to relationships, okay? So my 20s taught me that people really are seasonal. And I know that's very cliche, but it's true. The people that you're friends with in your early 20s, or the people that you're in a relationship in your early 20s, they may not be around. My 20s taught me that people are definitely seasonal, and that's okay. That's not to say that there's any bad blood or anything like that, but the more you grow, the more you elevate, you know, it's going to be a natural separation. And so I feel like I've had several of my relationships, and I'm talking relationships on a broad spectrum. I've had several of my relationships. Nothing bad happened. It's just the process of natural selection. Things happen the way that they were supposed to happen. In those relationships, we're either not as close or we just don't talk at all. And that's fine. I wish everybody well. In my 20s, I also allowed more than I should from people. Y'all, I used to be a people pleaser. Like, I wanted everybody to like me. I didn't want to disappoint anybody. I was just bending over backwards, running myself into the ground for people. And my 20s taught me that just because you do all of that for people don't necessarily mean that they're gonna be bending over backwards for you either, okay? So I've had to learn to just get so in tune with God and seek the approval of God first over anybody else. And as long as I'm pleasing God with what I'm doing, then I'm doing all right. I'm not afraid to use that magical 2-letter word, no. I'll tell somebody no in a heartbeat. Oh, will you come here? You want to come? No, I'm okay. Have fun though. I'm firm. I let my yeses be yeses and my noes be noes. And it just is what it is, y'all. I'm not running myself into the ground trying to people please any longer. I've been stopped doing that. So a lot of you may not know that I was actually married previous. So a lot of you may not know that I actually had a previous marriage prior to the current marriage that I'm in, and it lasted just a hot second. I learned so much from that divorce. It's not even about the divorce or that person or that marriage or any of that, because that's so off my radar. But the way in which I changed as a woman, that was the pivotal moment in my life where I said something has got to change. That divorce changed my whole outlook on life, y'all. My whole outlook. I'm so glad it happened, because guess what? That divorce made me, one, get a deeper relationship with Christ. I grew so in love with Christ because I just became like enamored with what he had for me, what he wanted for me, and that what I was currently experiencing was not his best for me. Y'all, without sharing too much into my story, I heard God audibly for the first time while I was going through divorce. He told me audibly, I heard him. He said, "This is the last time you will cry over this, and I'm about to blow your mind." And y'all, that was the last time I cried over that situation. That day on my floor in my living room, that was the last time I cried over that situation. And I said, it's only up from here. Like, where else can I go? I'm already at rock bottom. Where else can I go? Y'all, when I say that God literally blew my mind. Like, that whole situation taught me to be firm with these dudes. Like, I was not going. First of all, I didn't want a man. I wanted to be single. I was so set on being single. I'm like, okay, I'm free. I'm about to, you know, it's just gonna be me and God. Yes, I'm in a relationship and it's with Jesus, like, period. And my now husband just was kind of like, I'm like, why is this boy, you know, why do he want to talk to me? Why is he, oh Lord, show me all the bad stuff about him. Like, just show it to me. And God showed my husband to me in a light that just would never dim. There was nothing about him that I was hesitant about. Like, I just felt so much peace when I was with him. He always just like had the answer. He's a godly man. And now, you know, we've been married almost 4 years now, and I'm just so thankful that God prepared me in the season of isolation prior to meeting him. He prepared me for him. Had I not gone through a failed marriage, I would not be with my husband. I would not have been ready for him. I was insecure. I was a people pleaser. I wasn't sure about who I even was yet as a woman, but God showed all those things to me and prepared me for my husband. And y'all, it feels so good to just be in a committed relationship where you know without a shadow of a doubt that your spouse is just all you, 100% you. That feels so good. I could do a whole nother video on marriage. Becoming a mom has been, oh my goodness, one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And I had a mindset shift once I got divorced before remarrying. And the second part to that, the extra shift that I needed happened when I became a mom. This is the most challenging yet rewarding job that I have ever had, and I'm sure that I will ever have. Just the fact that every decision that I make affects those little girls, that puts me up on my game even tougher. That makes me show up a little bit hard. I want to make sure that I'm getting it as right as I can. Like, I don't have time for, of course I'm gonna make mistakes, but I don't have time for silly little mistakes. Like, there's a generation, and I'm not speaking about somebody else's kids looking up. I have my own children. There's a generation literally looking up at me, expecting me to do the right things, expecting me to make the right moves. Like, I have the burden of breaking a generational curse. Things were not handed to me. Physical things as well as ideas and mindsets were not handed to me. The weight is on my shoulders. Like, that I have to break the generational curse for my children and their children and their children. It's a heavy burden to bear, but I'm up for the challenge because I know it has to start with me. So I'm on the fence, so to speak. I got one leg back in my past, knowing that those bad ideologies that come with that, and one leg over the fence into my future. And I'm ready to pull that other leg on over and just run full force at what I know God has for me. And I know that's gonna come with challenges, but because I have these two children looking up at me, I can't stop, and I won't stop, and I won't lose just because my mindset is different. So now, as far as relationships are concerned, I'm working on building intentional relationships with people. I'm not looking past people's major faults and major red flags. I'm no longer saying, oh, but you know, they got potential. I'm not falling in love with the idea of someone's potential. And that's friendships, that's business partners, that's bosses and whomever. I'm taking a person at face value and deciding whether or not, once I learned that I can actually create the space that I want to live in, once I really learned how to function in that, it's a wrap. It's nothing you can tell me. People can't force themselves on me. If I don't want to go somewhere, if I don't like your group of friends, you invited me out, I'm gonna say no. I'm really intentional about who I decide to let in. My circle this big. And that's not to say like, oh, no new friends. Oh no, I want new friends. hey, if you want to be friends with me, comment down below. I'm looking for good, godly friendships, but at the same time, I'm very selective about who I decide to let in my space. I stand up for myself now. If something is off, if something doesn't seem right, I'm gonna say something. And that doesn't always come with being nasty or rude. It's just a matter of standing up for what you believe and being true to yourself and not wavering who you are for somebody else. If something is wrong, I'm gonna speak up. Don't do nothing wrong in front of me because I'm going to speak up. I can say that 100%, I do not care what people think about me. Not even a little bit. I used to care so much what other people thought about me. If people liked me, if people liked what I had on, if people liked how my hair looked. Now I don't care. I'm so free from people bondage. In my 30s, as far as relationships are concerned, I plan to cultivate new relationships that are centered around the right things. I want to be circles where the people are smarter than me. Like, I want to be in circles where I don't have no clue what y'all are talking about, because that means I can learn something from you. I want to be a student. I want to find new mentors. I just want to be around people whose minds are elevated, whose minds are set on things above, and it's not just petty drama, or it's not just tea every time you get together. Like, that stuff gets played out. I also want to find new ways to love on my man. As we go through these years of being married, I just want to constantly be the apple of his eye, and the same vice versa. Okay. So the next category, professional and career. I've made more professional career changes in the last decade of my life than most people do in their whole lifetime. So in my early 20s, I finished college. I graduated with a couple of degrees, one in political science and the other in philosophy. I don't use those degrees. I'm happy that I have them, and I'm happy that I got the experience of college. I joined a sorority in college, the greatest sorority known to mankind, Alpha, Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, okay? So I have made lifelong friends, sisters within my sorority. I've made lifelong friends in college. I went to cosmetology school in my 20s, successfully completed 1,500 hours in school, which took me about 2 years to do. I just successfully completed real estate school. So that's my new business venture there, and I'm excited about what's to come behind completing real estate school. I don't know another person like me. Anything I'm interested in, I go after it and I do it. And I found ways to turn my passions into income. So I have always been passionate about beauty, hair, makeup, all things beauty. And so I'm like, you know what? Yes, I have these degrees. Yes, I said I was going to law school, but that's not what I want to do. I want to make a career out of the things I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about helping women. I'm passionate about helping women more specifically find their confidence. And I have made a very successful career in cosmetology. My business, Beauty Desi's Way, I focus on natural hair, makeup application, all things beauty. Your girl got it. I can do it, okay? I've done a lot of networking. I've met a lot of great people in the beauty industry. I met my husband. He's in the beauty industry. So cosmetology has brought me many great things, but I'm looking to take what I do behind the chair and take that up a notch, take that even further. And so I want to use my gift in cosmetology to really give back to the community. So I'm working on a couple of things now as far as how I can do just that. So now I can say that I've been able to become a full-time entrepreneur. I work for myself, y'all. That feels so good to say. Over the last decade of my life, more specifically the last 5 years of my life, I've been working to work for myself. I have always held it down with 2 or 3 jobs, and while I was working a full-time job, I was working on my goals and what I wanted to do with my life on the side, of working until I created an avenue that would lead to full-time entrepreneurship. It's scary. It's so scary. It's scary. It's scary, but I can do it. I believe in myself. I've accomplished everything I've set my eyes to thus far, and so entrepreneurship is just gonna open up so many more doors for me and other people. And now I'll have the time to fully spend with my children and my husband, and also do what I plan to do within my community as well. So for my 30s, my professional and career goals is to dive into real estate. I want to also grow my YouTube channel. I'm not sure as far as what kind of numbers I want to have, but I just want it to grow. Whatever that looks like, whatever God has planned for me in this realm, I am here to fully receive it. And like I said, I want to give back and bless others. And I know that because I have the heart to do that, that God is gonna bless everything that I touch. The final category that I want to touch on is personal growth. In my 20s, early 20s more specifically, I was very unsure of who I was. I was just a little girl running around here trying to be cute all the time and spending money. I had no real foundation. I was a hothead. You could not tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing. Like, I was so quick and ready to fight and just rolling the neck and stuff. Oh, so embarrassing. I was a know-it-all. I had a chip on my shoulder, and I was very dramatic. Very dramatic. Like, everything was a production with me. And it was at the age of 23 that I decided to give my life to Christ. Now, at 23, by no means did I have it all figured out and even remotely have my life together. But it was at that age that I decided, you know what? Whatever the journey is lying ahead, I don't want to go on it without Christ. Like, I don't want to walk down that path without him. And so, if you say you want all this raggediness, if you say you want this girl who is toe up, jacked up, my mind ain't right, my mouth ain't right, my body ain't right, like, if you say you want me and you love me in spite of who I am, then hey, I'm gonna do this with you. You want me? Here I am. So take me and do with me what you may. Show me, Lord, what you'll have me to do. And so I made that conscious decision at 23. I got baptized, and yeah, I haven't looked back, and I won't look back. I'm never turning back. I'm never turning my back on God. I know that anything that I've accomplished, whether in my finances, relationally, in my career, in my personal growth and development, I owe it all to God. I owe it all to him. So now, a couple weeks shy of 30, I'm confident and strong. I can walk into a room and hold my head up high. I'm like so confident and secure with the woman that I am today. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. You can't tell me I'm not great. And I'm not saying in this video I'm doing a lot of tooting my own horn, but I've come a long way because I am now just able to say confidently, this is Desiree. Take it or leave it. Like, I was scared I was gonna hurt somebody's feelings way back when, had I said that way back when. So I've come a long way. Like, it's a big deal for me sitting here just saying that to you all. I'm God-fearing now. I'm walking that out. So when I got baptized at 23, I am still walking that out. You know, they say take up your cross and actually walk out your faith. I'm walking that out, and I'm taking my Jesus everywhere I go. He up in the room with me. I'm learning to deal with my emotions because I was a hot mess emotional young woman. I'm learning how to channel that and not ignore my emotions, but just have them serve me better. Recognize why I'm emotional and just figure out what to do with those emotions at that particular time. I'm also doing a lot of connecting my present to my past because everything happened to me for a reason. And now when certain things happen or when certain situations come about, or when I'm noticing certain things, I'm able to make certain connections to my past as to why certain things happen the way that they did. It all boils down to just being mindful, being aware of who I am, how I feel, what's around me, what I lack, what I need to learn. Everything did happen for a reason, and I'm grateful for all the things that happened. I may not necessarily like all the things that happened, but had they not happened, I wouldn't be who I am today. I'm just learning to use my past to better serve my today, and my past and constant reflection on my past keeps your girl humble. So in my 30s, my goal is to slow down and take a deep breath. I'm doing a lot of moving and shaking, and that's great, but I can move and shake and fall to the ground. I have to learn how to rest and how to just slow down, take it all in, and really just practice mindfulness in all areas of my life. I have to be consistently active. I've been pretty much doing a great job of being active, but this is something that I want to take into my 30s, and not because I want to look like somebody, or not because I want these big muscles, or I just want to be active for me, just for a better me, simply put. Not any kind of body goals or anything like that. I just want to be the best me possible. I want to make self-care a part of my routine. Like, I want to set aside one day a week to where I just focus on me. I want to grow deeper in Christ, of course. Like I said, I know the road ahead is going to have its own set of challenges and ups and downs, and I can't do any of that without God. So I know that I'm going to need more tools. I'm gonna have to be equipped with a little bit more knowledge of God and who He is to me. I want to become more patient. I'm very impatient right now, and that can bleed over into all of the areas of my life. So I want to become a more patient person, and that all comes with just being more mindful, living in the now, slowing down, taking a break. I also want to expose myself to new cultures and travel more. COVID knocked traveling out, okay? But once things are a little bit more settled, I plan to use my passport up. And now that I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I can create my own schedule and make more time for travel, make more time to spend with my family. I want to travel abroad at least once per year. That pretty much sums up my video concerning what I learned the last decade of my life. In the comments, wish me a happy 30th birthday. My birthday is January 5th, but you can wish me a happy early birthday. I just appreciate you all for listening in on what I have to say, and y'all, I'm just excited about life. I'm excited about what God's getting ready to do, and I'm going at it full force. So I pray that you all are doing well and you all are staying safe. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button. One of my goals is to grow my YouTube channel, and I can't do that without you all. So hit the subscribe button, share this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below in the comment section, wish me a happy birthday. All of these things really help me out as far as growing my channel is concerned. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all of that jazz. Talk to you all later.